Thank you, Kelly. If I had one word to describe the atmosphere inside this stadium, I would say passionate. You've got the passion of the Icelandic supporters, who are actually here in numbers, surprisingly. When you first came, it didn't look like they were outnumbered by the Argentinians, but there's a huge block of blue in the corner on the far side, and then the smaller blocks dotted around. We've already had one version of the thunderclap, but the Argentinians still outnumber them from about 10 to 1, and they are so excitable as we get ready for the national anthems here inside the Spartak Stadium on what is a glorious day. There isn't a cloud in the sky. Well, it's claimed 12 centuries ago the Vikings first set foot in Russia, an influx into Novgorod. Wouldn't say it's a huge influx, those decked out in royal blue, but I'm sure they will remember fondly the 16th of June 2018 as much as they remember the 27th of June 2016. Who'll forget that day in Nice when Iceland beat England in Euro 2016. They were cast in the role then of giant killers at the Euros, but here they are on the world stage, and they are the smallest nation ever to qualify for a World Cup. It is some story, Pat Nevin.
It absolutely is, and it's so hard to do anything else other than love them for their attitude, and their attitude all the way through the Euros, the attitude of most of the players as well. I mentioned right at the top, I really hope the referee lets this flow a little bit. I was quite disappointed in the previous game there. The referee stopped at every opportunity, and the players started throwing themselves about a bit, so they're partially to blame as well. That happens to Iceland today. It's going to have a negative effect. Two very different footballing cultures coming together here. Two very different styles coming together here. That's exactly what you want to see at a World Cup, and see which style comes out the best. Intrigued to see how Argentina deal with that style, because it's robust, it's in your face, it's no nonsense, and by the way, it's pretty good as well.
And it's a glorious day as the football continues to flow here on 5 Live. We've already brought you France 2, Australia 1 in Group C. Peru and Denmark is the other game to come in Group C a little later on. Group D, Croatia against Nigeria at 8 o'clock, but this is the first game in Group D, and it was our football correspondent John Murray who had mentioned to me just a couple of weeks ago. He said that this is the most subscribed game in terms of all of the group matches, in terms of the media. It's the one that's generated that attention across the globe. Argentina, with their illustrious history, the runners-up of course in 2014, 2 times winners against the debutants, Iceland. And here we are in Moscow, and a reminder of the two teams. Caballero in goal, making his competitive debut. Salvio at right back, Otamendi and Rojo, 2 familiar figures at the heart of their defence. Tagliafico of Ajax playing at left back. The 2 holders are Mascherano and Biglia. Meza, Messi and Di Maria are behind Aguero, who makes his first start since the 4th of March when he played against Chelsea in the Premier League. For Iceland, Halldórsson, the goalkeeper, makes his 50th appearance for his country. The back 4 is Sævarsson, Arnason, Ragnar Sigurdsson and Magnusson. The midfield is Gudmundsson, Gunnarsson, Bjarnason and Hallfredsson, with Gylfi Sigurdsson behind Finnbogason. Iceland get us underway here in Moscow as they make their debut in the World Cup. And when Steve Crossman was speaking to Johan Berg Gudmundsson, the Burnley player, as they win the ball with Gylfi Sigurdsson, tries to get it back, early shot comes in off target, off his left foot wide. He was actually saying that they might not, because they don't have that pool of players, this might be their only World Cup appearance. And what puts it into context is that there's only a pool of around 100 professionals for Iceland. Argentina used 45 just in qualifying. Let that one sink in as Argentina play from left to right, and they are in their change strip, predominantly all black. Iceland are in all white with the change, the little hint of blue and maroon, or a dark red on the shoulders, as Iceland play from right to left as we look. And
the start of the game there was brilliant. Iceland had the kick-off, they played it back to the centre-backs, and they had a charge. It was almost like a rugby charge, lumped it up, 5 of them went charging towards the Argentinian defence. You just don't really see that very often in international football, and certainly not very often in a World Cup.
It was a charge from the Vikings early on, as Argentina with Tagliafico on that far side on the halfway line. Great atmosphere, superb noise. It's the one thing, I mean, I've been in Moscow for a few days, had the pleasure of walking up to the Luzhniki ahead of the opening game, and just the noise and the colour. But there, ahead of that opening fixture, there were so many supporters. There was Peruvian, there was the Colombians, there was the Argentinians, there was the Mexicans. Here, it's just mainly Argentinians who have come to the Spartak Stadium to watch their heroes, and in particular their idol, Messi. But they're being very, very patient in the early stages. There's Rojo to Otamendi. Iceland quite happy for Argentina to have the ball. They don't care about the possession stats. They'll sit back, and the onus will be on Argentina to try and get past them.
By the way, talking about the fans there, some of the games so far, there's been a few empty seats around. Have you spotted one here? Because I ain't.
No, certainly haven't. That was Biglia. Mascherano, now a balding Mascherano, formerly Liverpool, West Ham United, back in midfield as he spreads the ball forward. A long diagonal ball. Di Maria looked to try and lay it off instant to Aguero. Challenge came in from Arneson, out of play it goes for a throw. Aguero shows himself. Gylfi Sigurdsson is back there challenging Aguero, and Iceland now will come forward. But the Polish referee, they say he's the Polish Pawlici Kalina, purely only because he's bald. He actually gives a free kick in favour of Argentina. Simon Marciniak.
Actually, both players stood in each other's foot. That actually sounds almost impossible, but actually did oddly happen there. So it's difficult to know who the referee's going to give it to. I suspect he's going to give that one to Argentina in a difficult position, and Lionel Messi will have his first kick of the ball.
Lionel Messi, after the exploits of Ronaldo in that terrific game that we brought you last night from Sochi, what will Messi do here today as he cradles the ball?
I think he'll change the ball, oddly enough.
Oh, so I thought he was cradling it. No. Well, he's happy. He's not happy with the pressure of the ball.
No, he's changed it. That's exactly what he's done now. Another one comes on, that'll do.
Gives this one a squeeze and says, yeah, I'm happy with that one.
You can do that when you're Lionel Messi.
You can do anything when you're Lionel Messi. Anyway, he places the ball down. Argentina have a free kick. They're playing from left to right as we look. They're in the all-black 0-0 BBC Radio 5 Live, 4 minutes played. Messi eyeing this one up. It's midway through the Iceland half. It's clipped in now. It travels a long way, takes a deflection and runs wide and behind for a goal kick. I think it was Otamendi who was the last player to get a touch.
I don't think I knew a great deal about it. Otamendi, you're right, he was in the correct position there, but it took a slight deflection just before it came to him, so it would have been very difficult to move his feet that quick. But he knew if he could get his foot out in time there, he could have deflected it towards the goal. You wouldn't really call it a chance. You would say it would have been very unlucky. He was very lucky to move his foot just in the right direction at the right time.
Ragnar Sigurdsson goes long. That's headed forward by Biglia. Mascherano leaps in the air, but no attempt to get the ball. He just jumped into Gylfi Sigurdsson. Free kick to Iceland. 6 yards outside the centre circle in the Argentinian half. And we talk about the bald-headed referee. I've just been struck by the pacing of Georges Sampaoli, the Argentinian coach, with his bald head, decked out all in a suit as he paces up and down that expansive technical area. Alfredsson is also follically challenged. Back with Gunnarsson, and Iceland from a position where I thought they might have been able to test Argentina. They're all the way back towards their goalkeeper, Hal Dawson, downfield, and it'll be seen and brought under control by the Argentinian defence, and just dropping back into position on this near side was Mesa.
Ian, I've just seen tactics that I've definitely never seen at World Cup. Well, certainly haven't seen it for many years. They got the ball there. They only kept 2 players back. They will not leave anyone to mark Lionel Messi. And 7 players went forward in a line to be hit by a long ball. If they lost the ball there, at that point in time, Iceland were down 4 against 2.
Biglia's ball cut out by Gudmundsson of Burnley. Alfredsson, Bjarnason here. Long-haired midfielder coming forward. He had the run, just moving out of Gudmundsson, who'd made a run all the way from right to the left-hand side as we look on this main stand here in the Spartak Stadium. And there's a foul on Meza, and that'll be a free kick to Argentina. And it's very intense, this Sampaoli, and he was shouting towards the Polish referee when that challenge was made, as Mascherano, as the free kick was taken quickly. 6 minutes played on a day of live sport where 5 Live today will bring you 4 World Cup matches. The Rugby Union Test match that is coming up, South Africa against England in the Rugby Union, the one-day international cricket, and of course later on tonight the US Open Golf. As that ball from Otamendi breaks down, Meza will play it back to the Manchester City defender. Salvio is forward, the right back with his bright orange boots. Here is Messi, pulled back by Gunnarsson. The bearded and shaven-headed midfielder comes up to the referee, who's having to be patient. That was a firm pull back on Messi.
Yeah, well, I talked right at the start of the game the importance of what the referee does here. Now, he has pulled up for a few free kicks, but he's been absolutely spot on with them. If it's a free kick, you've got to give it, referee, there. But the Icelandic team are making sure that, well, they know, making sure they've noticed it by players such as Aguero, obviously, and Messi.
Rojo playing on the left side of the central defence, the Manchester United player. Mascherano at the minute is almost to the, in fact he was to the right of Otamendi, which was enabling Salvio to push up. Always had favoured a 3 at the San Pauli, but he did start with a flat back 4.
It's Bjarnason again there. He's blocked off again there. That's 2 free kicks in very, very quick succession. The referee doesn't look to go to his pocket for a card, but Bjarnason has to get a little bit calmed down just now. He's just given too many free kicks away unnecessarily.
Messi then to take the free kick that's been conceded. It's a good at least 30 yards out from goal. Messi, left-footed, plays it in. It's low and just goes wide. Tagliafico had dropped low to try and get it, and it just ran wide of the far left-hand post of the Ajax defender.
I think it may have got a little head on it. We've got a better angle here. And, well, maybe he didn't get enough on it, but the goalkeeper could do nothing about it. It was very low. It was whipped in there by Lionel Messi. You see once again, yes, he did get a head on his right first time. Goes about a foot past the post, and the keeper was not getting that.
0-0, BBC Radio 5 Live, your World Cup station, as Iceland look the ball long. Finn Bogason tries to get round the back, bouncing ball. The angle is tight. He clips it on the half volley, right-footed, and over the top, and it goes for a goal kick. 0-0.
Well, we shouldn't laugh at it. That is what famously called the one-touch move. Lumped it for about 80 yards from the back, but it was aimed straight towards Finn Bogason. Nobody got anywhere near close to him. But then again, if Spain could do it last night with Diego Costa, then why shouldn't Iceland?
They play it short, back to Caballero. That was a hurried clearance, that didn't work. Comes to Gunnarsson, Iceland are threatening. This is Bjarnason, he's put it wide. And that all stemmed from the Argentinian goalkeeper. It was a terrible clearance, and Iceland nearly profited, and Bjarnason, the Aston Villa midfielder running in, hit it on the edge of the area right-footed, and it was just wide, and not very far wide either.
Well, we talked right at the start of the game about Caballero. Is he good enough when the ball's at his feet? He wants to get the ball at his feet, but that pass was not good when he didn't take it quick enough. It came out. There were 2 opportunities there. You're absolutely right. Bjarnason had the best one. He's got to get that on target. I don't know how many chances he'll get, but there won't be many better than that one. And it came from that very simple long ball. They don't need to go through the midfield. They can miss out the midfield.
He scored the first ever goal in a major tournament as Salvio was forward. Bjarnason has checked in. He gets away to Salvio, cuts the ball back. Clearance only as far as Messi. Messi brings it down off his chest, can't get the shot away. The Icelandic players swarmed around. Lionel Messi there. Break. Goodmanson away. Right hand side. Has runners going ahead of him. Saivarsson is the right back who's made a marauding run. Goodmanson will hold on to the ball and eventually dispossessed. Should have released it earlier. 0-0. Game certainly starting to open up here. Gunnarsson plays it over the top for Bjarnason, who, as I say, scored their first ever goal in a major tournament with the equaliser against Portugal, and had a great opportunity to give Iceland their first goal at a World Cup.
Do you know what? It'll still give them a lift. Some teams, if they miss a chance like that, sometimes they look a little bit deflated by it, but I don't think that's the effect it'll have in Iceland. They'll think, wait a minute, we actually can create chances here. And the way they're playing, the style they're playing, it is ruffling the feathers of those Argentinian players, because they want to get on the ball, they want to take their time, they want to pass it. But when they get closed down, they're not enjoying it, and they're breaking very, very quickly, the Icelandic team.
Here is Messi in the centre circle. Messi drops his shoulder, threads the ball forward. Tagliafico, back to Messi, back out towards Di Maria. Di Maria cuts it back towards Messi, and the Icelandic defence forced the ball behind for a corner kick. Messi was just starting to be instrumental there in that attack. 0-0.
I mean, it almost goes without saying, but it's a good game. It's a cracker of a game. The speed that is going with it just now, both sides, it's not one team sitting back. end to end, although they've got more of the ball, Argentina, you would not rule Iceland out scoring a goal.
Di Maria then to take the corner kick for Argentina, far side the left. The Polish referee has spotted a little bit of pushing there with Rojo, as now in comes the outswinging corner. Finnboga Karlsson was back, the striker for Iceland to clear. Mascherano will collect it, short of the halfway line. Every outfield player is in the Iceland half, away to our right-hand side. Tagliafico, the left back. And here is Biglia, short and square. Mascherano in the shadows of the main stand on a very hot afternoon. Salvio at right back had to stretch, now leaves it. Mesa cuts in field off this near right-hand side. Pass though goes a little bit behind. Biglia now though has it at his feet as Di Maria shows himself. The Argentinian support cheering them on. Some of them still basking in the sunshine in the lower tier of that two-tiered stand on the far side. Mascherano back in the shadows. Otamendi, Messi outside the centre circle. That's how deep he is as he tries to get away from Gunnarsson. Messi then runs away as Gunnarsson passes him on to Gylfi Sigurdsson. Ball back with Messi once more. Biglia, Mascherano. You might be able to hear the Viking war chant as Otamendi will shoot from distance. And the war chant is because they're doing the thunderclap, the Icelandic supporters. 0-0, 5 live, we're live in Moscow.
Well, that thunderclap's going to slowly but surely build, as we all know. It's hugely intriguing to watch what's happening with Lionel Messi just now. I don't think he's ever been so loosely marked in a game that I've ever been to see him. No one is considering him. They're just keeping their positions, and if he walks out of my position, I will make sure that I cover him. That's exactly their attitude just now. And I don't see anybody looking around, checking on him, worried about him, being spooked by him. It's just not the way they're attracting that. That actually might not be a great idea in the end.
Pat's only next to me, he's only to my right, but there's been an explosion of noise. Because the Argentinian supporters, when the Icelandic fans were doing the thunderclap, first of all they started to whistle, and then they realised that wasn't actually having much effect against the booming war chant. So then all of a sudden they just started jumping up and down and singing away, and that was the reason why all of a sudden the decibel levels inside this Spartak Stadium increased. 0-0, 5 live, Mascherano's header forward, Aguero takes it on the turn. Right-hand side of the penalty area, behind him is Mesa, leaves it for Salvio. Salvio keeps the ball in play and back with Mascherano. Here now is Rojo, stands still, waits to see what his options are, goes back towards Mascherano. Mascherano and Messi are seeing a lot of the ball in the centre of the field for Argentina. Messi plays it forward, wants the return, doesn't get it, there's no foul. Gylfi Sigurdsson now coming forward. Alfredsson looking to turn, challenged and fouled by Mascherano. Free kick to Iceland inside their own half. 0-0, 15 minutes played.
Gets a little bit lucky, Mascherano there. He kicks the ball away. It's only 3 or 4 yards there, but he wants to slow the play down because Sigurdsson and the rest of that midfield, they just want to get the ball going quickly. They want to play in the break. The thing is, it's not 2 or 3 going in the break, it's as many as they possibly can get up there. They're going to play it long again, and they've got 5 players on the field.
Magnusson is forward, that's where the free kick is directed, and the left back then will head it into Finnboga Karlsson. Doesn't return the ball to Magnusson, who dived into that challenge. Alfredsson, Gylfi Sigurdsson, left corner of the penalty area. Iceland coming forward, cleared away by Otamendi, headed back by Ragnar Sigurdsson, and Argentina still can't get the ball away as Iceland try and pen Argentina back in their own half. Alfredsson, fouled by Messi, was he? No. Messi brings it away. Messi's over the halfway line. Now towards Aguero, helps it on towards Di Maria, tries to win it back. Iceland are back in numbers, still 0-0 as Di Maria waits over on that far side. And an update with the cricket in a moment as Di Maria comes forward, the return from Aguero. Di Maria, left-hand side of the penalty area, leaves it now for Messi. Messi, does he have a sight of goal? He just can't get wriggled free from the challenge. And the ball is cleared away by Gudmundsson. So let's go to Jonathan Overend.
Back underway, Ian, here in Cardiff after a 40-minute rain delay. We're still playing 50 overs aside. We're in the 31st over of the England innings, 186 for 3. Jason Roy now has 92, Butler and 3.
Thank you, Jonathan. 0-0 here, Messi. Challenged by Bjarnason and Halfredsson. Here is Messi once again. Ball glued to his left foot. Mascherano pops it back out towards Meza. Salvio on the overlap. Meza right corner of the penalty area. Look then towards Messi. The interception actually came from the striker.
Part of the problem they've got just now, though, is Finnbogasson's a little bit too deep. When they do win the ball back, there is actually no one to hit up front, so that's something they're going to have to work on, the Icelandic team, or else they're just going to get pressure the whole time.
Meza, right side. Messi, just outside the penalty area. Still goalless here at the Spartak Stadium. Messi then with a shot, beaten away by the fist of the goalkeeper. Comfortable height, just shifted it onto his left foot, got away from Halfredson, but it was around waist height and it was comfortably dealt with by the goalkeeper. Di Maria, left-hand side. Argentina still looking for a way through. When the draw was made, Jaime Hallgrímsson, the Icelandic coach, said the fact that they were playing Argentina gave him a romantic feeling. Well, Messi's trying to break some Icelandic hearts here, but in terms of a love story, you can't take your eyes off this game, because it is a story for where Iceland have come, and they're looking to try and keep Argentina at bay. But it was a comfortable save for him, wasn't it, Pat?
Yeah, but there's no, any complex about playing against Argentina, and that's a nice thing. They're coming out, trying to play as much as they can, but there have been two very good moments for Argentina. One of them has included a shot from Messi, and the other one was from a cross from him, which led to a header that was nearly a goal. So, as usual, no surprises. Most of the good stuff is coming from Lionel Messi, but it's a good game so far. Really lively, and it's it would have been a little bit of a shame had Argentina scored early on, because that might have deadened it a little bit. Certainly not the case so far, and I just hope that at some point Iceland can get a little bit of hold of the ball up front. Finnbogason is on his own a little bit, the ball's coming towards him now, but if he wins the flick on, someone else has to get near to him to give his team a time, a little bit of period of time, a little bit of space, and then get bodies up that field.
But as we know to our cost, Iceland, I'm speaking as an Englishman, Iceland have resilience, because when they fell behind to England in Nice in Euro 2016, they were back level within 2 minutes. They've been playing for 18 minutes, and in fact, after 18 minutes in Nice, Iceland were 2-1 up in that last 16 game. Mascherano, goalless though here at the moment. Rojo, is he going to let one fly? He shapes the shoot, drills it in low, it might fall to Aguero. Aguero with a turn! Aguero with a finish! And what a finish as well by Aguero! Making his first start since early March, left-footed, rifles the ball into the top corner, and Argentina are ahead. They're up and running as they lead Iceland 1-0.
Well, his first touch was absolutely sensational. That was a shot towards the goal, so you can tell there was plenty of power on it, and he managed to get his body in the way there, and he takes the first touch, kills it, drags it away from the defender, and his turn there, it was impossible to stop that turn. He's on the half turn, and he's absolutely roofed it. There's a player that used to do that many years ago called Gerd Müller. No one was better than him, and it was exactly that style. Top corner, nothing he could do. Big questions, can Iceland come back from that?
Well, let's see about their mental resilience here then on the World Cup stage, because Argentina, the two-time winners, with Sergio Aguero, who remember had keyhole surgery back in April, scored on his return as a substitute against Haiti at the end of May, and now he's scored since his first start since early March. It's his 38th goal for his country, and Argentina are leading by a 0-0 here, much to the delight of the Argentinian supporters inside the Spartak Stadium. As Di Maria comes forward now for Argentina, playing from left to right to Messi. Does that relieve any of the pressure that may have been building as Messi then plays it out, because they are a side under pressure, and particularly on Messi, who's got to deliver for what may well be his final World Cup against the debutants as they lead by a 0-0. But it was a super finish by Sergio Aguero.
Yeah, I mean, his back was to the goal, and his first touch takes the ball away from the goal, out to about 9 or 10 yards. But when it arrived at his foot for that first touch, you knew what he wanted to do. We've watched Aguero often enough to know it, but it's whether he had the power and the physique to make sure he could get that ball thumped on the half-turn. And as I say, he absolutely roofed it. No chance whatsoever for Haldorsen in goal.
They're back up, jumping up and down in their seats, the Argentinian supporters, as Messi comes forward and then gets one away, and it produces the save from Hannes Haldorsen, the goalkeeper, away to our right, just diving, catching the ball with both hands to his right. Alfredson almost showed too much towards Mascherano, then shrugs off the former Liverpool and West Ham midfielder, ball-headed player, towards Gylfi Sigurdsson, but Mascherano back to his feet to come back and take it off the toes towards Caballero in goal for Argentina, decked out all in orange as we approach the midway point in the first half, and Argentina lead Iceland by a goal to nil.
It's classic, one of those ones. Mascherano's getting the ball in that kind of central sitting midfield role, and he's slowing everything down. He's just saying, look, wait a minute, we've got a goal here, take our time, control the game, maybe make the opposition run around a little bit. If his team weren't 1-0 up, he'd be getting absolutely slaughtered for doing that. However, it's exactly the right thing you would think to do for a little while now.
Still got plenty of nervous energy as the Sampaoli, the Argentinian coach, as he continues to pace in that technical area. Now, in fact, he just momentarily stands still on the very corner with his right arm just hanging a little bit to the side of him as he watches on. And no doubt studying everything as he tries, very tactical in terms of his flexibility during games. As he now just moves again in his suit, watching on in the shadows of this main stand as Argentina lead by a goal to nil, and completely dominating as well in terms of possession. 74% in terms of ball possession for Argentina, who are 1-0 up. But Gudmundsson now finds Gylfi Sigurdsson for Iceland. Back with the Burnley player on that far side. Cuts it back to Gylfi Sigurdsson. Gylfi Sigurdsson and Gudmundsson continue to combine. Gylfi Sigurdsson down now the right-hand side. In comes the cross. Finnbogason is there. It might break out towards the left-back. Magnusson with a shot. He's pulled it so far wide it actually reaches Gylfi Sigurdsson. Right-hand side of the penalty area. Low ball in. Iceland with the equaliser. Finnbogason. They did it against England by not being behind for too long. And they've done it now here on their debut. Finnbogason, what a story! 1-1.
He just felt it coming. They just kept on putting the ball in the box, and it was the quality of the balls that kept on coming in the box. Right side, comes over, left side again. I actually think from the first cross there could have well been a penalty. Kick could have been awarded. We're having a look to see if there was any possibility of offside there. Nothing being given. They're not even going to have a look at it in the VAR, I don't think there. And when it comes out there, he hammers it. I don't think there's any blaming Caballero there. He actually gets a fist to it. He tries to punch it out, but he can only pass it out to Finnbogason, who just strokes it all.
But there was such an element of luck in that, in the fact that the left-back, Horder Magnusson, really did shank his goal effort. It went so far wide to Gylfi Sigurdsson on the right-hand side, but Sigurdsson drilled it in low. And Finnbogason was there to profit.
Do you know, the referee's having a dig at them there, saying, we've taken too long to get back to start the game again. But I know what Finnbogason said to him. Did you have a little look at how long it took them to start when they'd scored the goal? Both teams doing exactly the same thing.
We mentioned earlier in the commentary that they had the mental resilience to come back against England after 2 minutes.
Well, you did.
It was 4 minutes this time that Iceland were able to level. I'll tell you what, it shows spirit, doesn't it? And they've got it in abundance.
Like, just saying through the start of the game, the Icelandic attitude is always that they're not going to be spooked by you. They're not. It doesn't matter. You've got Aguero up there, you've got Messi. Yes, they'll be impressed by them, and yes, they'll understand they're great players, but it won't freeze them.
Messi makes a run round the back. Actually got round the back of the left back there, Magnusson, as the ball was played early from a free kick from Mascherano. Let's get another cricket update then from Cardiff with Jonathan O'Bray.
Century for Jason Roy, really establishing himself at the top of the England innings. 101 not out. It's his 5th ODI century for England, who are now building a big score. 209 for 3 after 33 overs.
Here we've got a real story in the Spartak Stadium. 5 live in Moscow. Argentina won, Iceland won. One of 2 debutants in this 2018 World Cup here in Russia. Panama are the other ones. But they're the smallest nation ever to qualify. The previous smallest was the Trinidad and Tobago, when a population of 1.2 million. Iceland's population is 339,000. And this tiny, unique country here in Russia, behind for all of 4 minutes before they level, as the ball is played up to Finnbogason, who's got that equaliser, challenging Otamendi, and Caballero picks it up for Argentina and just throws it out hurriedly towards Rojo. Head down from a pacing Sampaoli, who will not be happy. He can throw a tantrum or two. Seen that during his days when he was in charge of Sevilla. Biglia to Otamendi. Argentina stunned, with Iceland equalising.
Suddenly that idea of Mascherano slowing the game down a little bit and maybe not taking advantage for that moment where they got themselves on top of the game there. They looked really comfortable and relaxed, but he killed it and slowed it down a little bit. It sounded like, it looks like, and is normally the right thing to do, and it's backfired.
Here is Messi. Out towards Tagliafico, the left back. Tagliafico, low ball in the penalty area. Di Maria tries to get there. Does it stay in play? No, it doesn't. It goes behind for a corner kick. 27 minutes played. You just can't take your eyes off this game for one moment. Di Maria wants to take the corner quickly over on that far side, the left. It should be an outswinger. Otamendi is forward from the back. Rojo is also there. Aguero comes in towards Tagliafico. He's only about 5'10", but he likes to get himself on the end of things. He was throwing himself in the air there. He goes behind for another corner.
Especially as a left back, he gets up there and tries to attack it. So well done him. It's just kind of strange. Tim Vickery was talking about it before. We'll go on to that in a moment about the right-hand side of the Argentinian team.
The corner kick comes in from the left-hand side. Otamendi's header lacks the power as it just drops and loops into the arms of Halfredson, the goalkeeper. Halldorsen, the goalkeeper.
They do very well to get anything from corners, and specifically corners, but free kicks as well in the air, because the Icelandic team, they attack everything. They look really strong from those set pieces, not only defensively but clearly offensively as well. Just a few moments ago there was another tackle by Bjarnason, and he absolutely thumped Salvio and got the ball as well. Salvio rolled about a bit, including going off the field and back on it, so he didn't have to spend time off the field. But the more you watch Bjarnason, the more you like him play.
It's gone out for a throw. Aaron Gunnarsson has now come across to take it, and this is going to be a long one. Yeah. He's waiting for the reinforcements. Arnesson's come up from the back. The Icelandic captain, long run up, in comes the throw. Aimed in towards the penalty area. Otamendi gets the header away, comes back to Gunnarsson, plays it forward, spins through the air, drops on the edge of the area. Arnesson was there with the aerial challenge, goes in pursuit of the ball. Does he foul Tagliafico? And then it's clipped away by Ragnar Sigurdsson, because both central defenders had come up for that long throw, and the fact that they've played the ball out towards that far side, the left, that will just give them time to retreat.
It's so monumentally old school, isn't it, when you see that? I mean, for so long we haven't watched that for many teams at all, and it's a monster throw he's got in there. It gets to just about the 6-yard line, doesn't it? And they've got 3, 4, 5 players that are tall enough to cause all sorts of problems, and it's quite clear the Argentinian defence do not enjoy having to defend that.
Not as long as Dave Challenor and Trumler.
No, there's a story about that. He trained with us one day and hadn't told us the long throw. He must have thrown it about half the length of the pitch. He hadn't even bothered to tell us before he played.
1-1, BBC Radio 5 Live. As here is Otamendi. Otamendi to Messi. Salvio is actually ahead of him, the right back, as he drills this ball forward, and it goes out of play and out for a throw. Out for a goal kick, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, and he's got really, he's done okay so far. Lionel Messi, a bit of a burn in the far side there. Argentina wanting Iceland to get on with it. That's obviously Di Maria's getting a little bit miffed about that. He's been roughed up a bit. He's not always, he doesn't enjoy that, does he, Di Maria? I think we've noticed that throughout his career, that if you rough him up a little bit, he can sometimes disappear. Other times it just gets him a little bit angry. But just looking at Lionel Messi, quite often he has quiet games and then just explodes into it and does something extra special. He's had a couple of little moments, but it's not quite been vintage yet, has it?
1-1, BBC Radio 5 Live. That's the voice of Pat Nevin as we travel Russia together. The back pass towards Caballero. Finnbogason was running towards him. He managed to clear it up towards Messi. Messi says there was a handball there from Ragnar Sigurdsson. That's been spotted. By the way, the goal that gave Argentina the lead from Sergio Aguero was his first at a World Cup final. He made 3 appearances in South Africa without scoring, hampered by a thigh injury in the 5 appearances he made in 2014 without a goal. So in his 9th World Cup appearance, he's finally broken his duck. But it's a goal that has since been pegged back by Finnbogason.
Do you know what? Do you know Gunnarsson's just been done there by the referee? It's actually the referee who's walking backwards and put his studs right in the back of his ankle there. and he's rolled over. I had no idea, but we've just seen a replay of what had caused him. The ball wasn't in play, and it was actually the referee had done him.
It's okay to continue as we have 13 and a half minutes to go to half-time. 1-1, Aguero midway through the Icelandic half to Messi, quickly challenged, and all of a sudden Iceland can break. Finnbogason, who's certainly doing his defensive duties well, releases the ball to Bjarnason. The long haired midfielder goes down, no foul. Is Otamendi towards Aguero. Aguero is actually midway through his own half as Gylfi Sigurdsson tried to shackle him to Tagliafico on that far side. So you've seen on two occasions there in the space of 60 seconds that both strikers are coming back to help and put a shift in for the team. Messi over the halfway line. Messi just moves into a pocket of space on the right hand side. Back in towards Messi once again. Messi to Aguero, lays it off. Biglia with the effort, dipping just over the crossbar from his right foot, out of play for a goal kick. 5 Live here in Moscow, 1-1, Pat Nevin.
I don't think there was enough power on that. The keeper had it well covered there. He was trying to curl it in towards the back post there, but the keeper was all over it. But just that little turn of pace there for Lionel Messi. Puts the ball in. I think he was hoping to get it back. Yeah, a little bit of a 1-2 on that. He'd been running into the D, which is his favourite place to get the ball towards two centre-backs, which obviously it's very difficult to tackle Lionel Messi in those sort of situations. However, the ball didn't come back.
Magnussen was forward there, the blonde-haired left-back, but it's scooped up by Caballero.
Just to the moment there, Otamendi went up there and tried to win a header, and he didn't get it, and he lay down as if he'd been, elbowed in the face. He hadn't been elbowed, and he rolled over a couple of times. The referee just looked at him and dismissed him. Again, something we watched last night. It was against Diego Costa. Player thinks he's going to, it was Piqué, wasn't it? Thinks he's going to get an elbow, thinks he's going to get a free kick, rolls about. Do you know what? Get on with the game if you've not been elbowed.
Salvio for Argentina, held up by Bjarnason, so he has to go all the way back to the halfway line. Every outfield player again is in the Iceland half away to our right hand side. It's 1-1. Di Maria to Otamendi, edge of the centre circle. Messi makes the run. It was a ball that was played up to him. It was above waist height, so he had to leap in the air to try and bring it under control with his outstretched right foot, and was unable to get on the end of that, and it goes into the advertising hoardings and behind for a goal kick.
I think it would have been offside. I don't think the assistant referee was giving it, but it's one of those ones. Had that been taken in his first touch there and he'd scored, I think the VAR would have made the decision on that. But it was good. I had a little dig there at Otamendi for throwing himself to the ground unnecessarily, but it wasn't a great pass that he made there. He was very unlucky.
76 possession for Argentina.
It seems less so now. The last 5 or 10 minutes, it's much more part of the game, pushing it a little bit further up Iceland just now. But yeah, they're not going to have the lion's share of possession at any point in the game, but when they get it, they do look dangerous.
Here is Mascherano, just outside the centre circle in the Iceland half. Aguero, 30 yards from goal. Messi, who's central, creates the space for Salvio to run into on this near side, the right, and the right back is pushed up. Gets it back then, does Salvio. Messi makes the run behind him, still being patient. 10 minutes to go to half-time, but still a real story here with Iceland coming from behind. 1-1, Messi, forward, Aguero, Biglia. Iceland have everybody back behind the ball, still looking to try and limit the space as Aguero sweeps it out to the left. Tagliafico goes infield. Di Maria, left corner of the penalty area. Messi had to stretch for that one, pokes it back. Otamendi now joins the attack, out towards Messi, just in from the touchline right hand side. Magnussen backpedals, drills it in low, cleared away by Ragnar Sigurdsson, lifted back by Salvio. Magnussen will head it away. Bright blonde hair, the Icelandic defender. And then Argentina all the way to Rojo. They are obdurate to opposition, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, and they are so old school. When they try and clear the lines, and then you watch the back four, and they go out as a line. They try to get 20, 30 yards up the field so they can squeeze it a little bit. And the tactics are really quite simple. They're really, as I say, very, very old school. But they're efficient if everyone buys into it.
Mascherano just outside the centre circle, forward ball. Messi quickly has Ragnar Sigurdsson, then he will leave him as he drops back into position. And then Messi once again finds another pocket of space. Can he get a sight of goal? He's been trapped by 3 players. Salvio to the feet of Mesa, comes in field now. Does Mesa just outside the area? Watchful defending. They shuffle across their lines once again. It's that wall of white. Messi once again nicks it towards Aguero. Back towards Messi. Good covering by the left back. Tucked in was Magnussen. Mascherano will win it back for Argentina. Strong spell of pressure this from Argentina. Iceland looking to hold firm. Already breached once. However, they bounce back. 1-1, 5 live. Here is Salvio, takes it high in the chest, brings it under control. Bright orange boots.
You mentioned Salvio and Meza 3 or 4 times. The ball comes out to him, the right white here. Both of them are kind of wingers who've been asked to play deep now and again. Not one of them has tried to beat a man yet, and nothing is coming down that right side so far. They need to adapt that.
Di Maria's beaten his man. He cuts it back. It might reach Messi. Fredson will clear, but it's a clearance that goes out of play.
Well, to finish that point, Tim Vickers was talking about it before the game, playing those 2 players. Salvio not a natural fullback, so you're thinking, well, they've got 2 attack-minded players there on the right-hand side. Well, let's see what you can do down there. So far, and we're 37 minutes into the half, neither of them has made an effort to get by a defender, and that's not good enough really at this level against defenders who are allegedly not playing at the top level that you are. And I'm sure if Tim's on again at half-time, he'll have lots to say about that.
Sampaoli in his suit has just looked up to the giant screen away to our left-hand side to see how long is left in this first half, where it's 1-1. It's about 7.5 minutes of normal time. Here is Mascherano. Iceland just move across once again, the 2 banks of 4. Di Maria to Tagliafico. Aguero comes outside the penalty area. Messi then looks for a give and go. Messi gets it back. Messi with a shot, charged down. Coming across was, I think it was Ragnar Sigurdsson behind for a corner kick to Argentina.
Just a change, isn't it? As soon as he gets into that little area, usually between in the D or anywhere inside the box, it's totally different. His movement is so lackadaisical before he gets to that sort of area, and it just explodes with pace.
Corner kick then to Argentina over on that far side. Swung in now towards the near post. Magnussen will head it away. Comes back towards Di Maria. Runs into Magnussen. Drops to the floor. Goodmanson will clear. And the Burnley player gets plenty of distance on that. But the bright orange figure of Caballero, decked out in all in orange, comes to collect the ball and then just gives it towards Mascherano. Feeds it to the feet of Messi. Messi then towards Aguero. Messi still there, but another clearance. Arneson this time. And it's just anywhere will do for Iceland. They clatter the ball long, push up the field and drop back into position.
That's absolutely fine, because they're playing for the moments we talked about before the game, where they can get free kicks, long throws, or a break that they can, 4 or 5 of them can break at the same time. It's the game plan. So far is working an absolute treat. Just a few moments ago, Mesa had thrown himself to the ground in the far corner there, rolled about, utterly ignored by the referee, so he's shamefacedly got himself up.
Rojo comes forward, gives it to Mascherano, in field. Messi, central position midway through the Iceland half. Messi then has a shout from Salvio, right corner of the penalty area, plays it to Mesa. Mesa cuts it in towards the near post. There's a challenge there from Ragnar Sigurdsson on Biglia, who's looking for a penalty.
Well, Ragnar Sigurdsson immediately saying he's trying to dive there, he's trying to con you, referee. He kind of has to go for that ball. Do you know what? There might have been a little bit of contact there, but I think the referee's got it right. There wasn't enough in it for a penalty for me.
Again, VAR is not required. VAR, as it's going to be a corner kick to Argentina. In fact, they are now actually checking for a potential penalty, so they have referred to VAR, but the check is over. Corner kick to be taken. Deep towards the far post and plucked out of the air by Halldórsson. Very experienced 34-year-old goalkeeper for Iceland. Holds onto the ball and then bolts it out overarm towards that far side. Cricketing parlance to link in with Jonathan Oberon watching the One Day International in Cardiff.
Very good, 233 for 3 England. We're in the 36th over. Jason Roy, brilliant innings, 114 not out. Does he have his 180 record score from Melbourne earlier in the year in his sights? Josh Buttler with him on 27. Tim Payne, the wicketkeeper's just taken one to the face. That was painful. England 2-3-3 for 3 in the 36th.
Salvio is away from Bjarnason. Salvio into the penalty area. That looked like handball. That was from Ragnar Sigurdsson, but it wasn't deliberate handball. But the Argentinian players are surrounding the Polish referee.
No, I think you've
and they are now checking VAR.
Yeah, I mean, surely there's no chance whatsoever. Not a chance that's a penalty kick. The ball being smacked has gone under him, beneath him. He's fallen down backwards. It has hit his arm. His arm is on the ground. No chance in the world to deliberate handball.
It's also his trailing arm. In comes the corner kick, headed on at the near post by Biglia, and it drops behind for a goal kick again. A good decision.
Yeah, I'm delighted with that VAR there, to be fair. It was lightning, it was quick, we had a good look at it, and you know, the referee's probably fairly confident it wasn't a penalty kick, but he's seen a handball there. If we'd have spotted from one of the cameras that he deliberately dragged his arm there, then we could have seen it. But that's VAR for me working almost at its best.
3 minutes to go to half-time. BBC Radio 5 Live. Argentina 1, Iceland 1. Long ball from Iceland. The Argentinian supporters dancing in their seats here in the Spartak Stadium. Salvio plays it forward. Ragnar Sigurdsson, with his short, fair hair, plays it forward now to Gylfi Sigurdsson. Gylfi Sigurdsson to Magnusson. High up the pitch on this left-hand side. Halfredsson quickly closed down by Aguero. And then Bjarnason plays it back to Arnason, who left Aberdeen in May, formerly of Rotherham and Plymouth, for spells in the English League, as they're attacking here. The cross comes in from the right-hand side. It was Gudmundsson who'd made good ground over on that far side of the field for Iceland, and it goes out of play for a throw.
They make such good use of the opportunities they get, of the times they get the ball in the final third. They always seem to get a cross in. They always seem to get a ball into the back post that they can go and attack. And many teams don't do that. Every single opportunity leads to some panic in that Argentinian defence. And there's a long throw, and you suspect there might be more.
In comes the long throw from the right-hand side. Here it is, dropping in towards the penalty area. Otamendi with a header away. Hooked clear by Aguero. Is that Messi's touch letting him down?
Yeah, go and say it. I know you hesitate before you say it, but yeah, terrible touch there by Lionel Messi. It was coming out of there, but it's just you expect everything from him to be absolutely perfect. But the odd thing about it is coming down to him, he's 1-on-1 with one defender. Nobody allows that to happen. That was, you know, there is that little bit of naivety now and again from the Icelandic defence. When they've got an attack, they all get dragged forward.
Halldórsson, the goalkeeper, goes long, and then it runs out of play for a throw. So they're going to have a throw not quite midway through the Argentina half on this near side, as Eidur Gudjohnsen, formerly of Chelsea, makes his way past us when one of the aisles away to our right-hand side, and it's going to be Horda Magnusson who's going to take this throw. But rather than going downfield, it actually goes into the centre circle to pick out Sævarsson, and it's a long ball brought down under control well by Finn Bogason. Gylfi Sigurdsson, good footwork. Gylfi Sigurdsson, the goalkeeper, makes the save. Caballero with a very good save away to his left-hand side as Iceland threatened to take the lead.
That was a fantastic piece of play, absolutely brilliant from Gylfi Sigurdsson. He is such a classy individual when he's on the ball, but his feet were quick in the box there. Nice little 1-2 around the player there, passes it to the far post there. Great save, it has to be said, from Caballero there. But as I say, every time there's an opportunity to get the ball in the box, they're so dangerous, Iceland.
They're being brave, and they're certainly not daunted by the opposition here as they're threatening once again. It drops. Gylfi Sigurdsson drops on the volley, right-footed, didn't strike it on target, pulled it, goal kick. 1 minute of additional time, which we're into. One of those halves that you don't want to end, Pat Nevin.
Absolutely, it's been brilliant. There's maybe a little hiatus for about 5 minutes or so, about 5 minutes ago, but it's been lifted again. It's been absolutely superb. But since it's gone 1-1, I've been thinking to myself, there's no way this is going to end 1-1. Well, do you know what? It probably won't, but even if it does, I bet it's still a great 45 minutes we can look forward to.
Gylfi Sigurdsson, whose season ended for Everton on the 10th of March. The ball is too far ahead of Aguero, and in the additional 60 seconds, he's scored 5 goals in his last 9 international appearances, and he had 2 opportunities there in the space of 60 seconds, but great footwork for the first one, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I mean, he's under a lot of pressure there, and he took it in a strange angle as well, and he managed, as I say, they keep on making good use of it. he got it on target. You know, he was falling away from it, but he had enough balance to play it on target.
There is the half-time whistle from our Polish referee, Simon Marciniak. Argentina taking the lead through Aguero, his first goal in the World Cup finals after 19 minutes, but Iceland levelled very, very quickly. Within 4 minutes, Finn Bogason with the close-range finish, and they could easily have taken the lead had Sigurdsson had not been denied by Caballero. Argentina won, Iceland won, and what a story as we wait for the second half in about 15 minutes' time. Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. Two teams are just starting to emerge. First of all, it's Argentina with Mascherano. Don't think there have been any changes being made by Jorge Sampaoli, the Argentinian coach. So they're decked out all in black. So they'll have Caballero in goal. Back four of Salvio, Otamendi, Rojo and Tagliafico. Mascherano and Biglia and the two holding in the midfield. And Messer on the right, Messi centre, Di Maria on the left behind Aguero, the goal scorer. Only Iceland now are just walking down the very tiny corridors underneath this main stand here in the Spartak Stadium, being led by Aron Gunnarsson, their captain. Hasn't played since the 28th of April when he appeared for Cardiff City against Hull City towards the end of their successful promotion campaign from the Championship. But such a key figure. He was one of two injury scares they were really sweating on in the build-up to this opening game. Gylfi Sigurdsson was the other one as he leads them out, and in the blocks of blue inside this stadium, the Icelandic supporters cheer on their players, who I'm sure will have had a pep talk from Jaime Hallgrimsson, their coach, and just said, same again boys for the next 45 minutes. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, you wonder what Croatians and Nigerians are thinking watching this as well, because I think we all knew this was going to be a tough group, but to be honest, every single game is going to be really tight in this group, you'd imagine just now, and they're certainly be talking about the fear factor. No fear factor whatsoever from the Icelandic team. It's a real bravery about their performance, and I think the question is quite simply remains, can they keep that pace up and that energy up and that concentration up all the way through to the end of the game. I'll tell you one player who should change before the end, Finn Bogason. There's no way he can play up for 90 minutes in his own for the entirety of it.
He's been immense, hasn't he, the way that he's trapped back, and he got the goal to bring them level. So the second half is back underway. BBC Radio 5 Live. We've got the Rugby Union test, the second test, South Africa against England, coming up straight away on the back of this from Bloemfontein with Chris Jones and the team down there in South Africa. We've got Peru against Denmark, and for every commentary as well, which is on BBC television, if you press the red button you can listen to the 5 Live commentary. So Peru against Denmark, the first half will be available through the red button from 5 Live, and that game, which takes place in Saransk, the second half, will be on Radio 5 Live. And then tonight from 8 o'clock, Croatia against Nigeria, which are the other two teams taking part in this group, Group D, along with Argentina and Iceland. And if you remember back to Euro 2016, Croatia actually topped that group ahead of Spain. So it is a tough group, as Pat Nevin quite rightly says. It's 1-1, and Argentina will be hoping to maintain their winning start for a 7th successive time. As Aguero comes forward, tees it up towards Salvio. Salvio chips it in towards the penalty area. Argentina in all black strip, playing from right to left as we look against Iceland in the predominantly white, little bit of a dark red and blue tinge on the shoulders of Iceland. Some of the supporters are still making their way back to the seats on that far side, still bathed in sunshine for a very pleasant afternoon here in Moscow, the capital of Russia. Mascherano to Aguero, 25 yards out from goal. Mascherano floats the ball out towards Salvio, the right back, has to take it on the head as he heads it down, waits for the ball to settle. Right corner of the penalty area. Back then with Biglia, laid off quickly from Messi, then it comes back towards Messi. He's able to turn. Mascherano can't thread a ball through. They've won it back though quickly. Here is Aguero. Messi had actually gone on ahead of him. Di Maria now left corner of the penalty area. Di Maria closed down by Arneson behind for a corner kick. 1-1. Pat Nevin.
Yeah, they've camped really deep right at the start of this second half. the Iceland team. I mean, they don't look panicked about it, but just there's a couple of little bits of movement and understanding between Messi and Aguero. We talked about it before the game. I think it's up to those two to work together, and that could be the undoing of Iceland.
Di Maria with the corner kick, and getting forward was Otamendi around the penalty spot area. Manchester City defender very unhappy as he jumps and stamps his feet in annoyance because he didn't keep his header down. Scored 5 goals in City's title success in the Premier League this season, but disappointed that he wasn't able to find the target, as Haldorsen is in no hurry to take the goal kick.
I think he's a wee bit harsh on himself there, because he got a nudge in the back from Bjarnason just as he was about to go and head the ball, and it's very, very difficult. You're up that high, you're going to win the ball, but just a little nudge, I think that's what put him off.
The dream is still alive for Iceland, making their debut in the World Cup, although debutants don't tend to fare too well since the tournament was expanded to 32 teams in 1998. 5 of 16 debutants have only progressed into the knockout stages, and the last was Slovakia back in South Africa in 2010. Otamendi clatters the ball away downfield, headed up then by the left back Magnusson. Plays for Bristol City. Alfredsson to Gudmundsson, plays it forward. Nicely worked out to Bjarnason by Iceland over on that left-hand side. Gylfi Sigurdsson makes the run into space. 2 little looks into the penalty area, pulls it back. Bjarnason clips it in. Oh! Finnbogason didn't attack it. I think he thought that Alfredsson was coming in from behind him, and had he done so, he would have had a good opportunity of a goal.
Except for the fact he was about 3 yards offside. I think he was real offside there. But the break was good. Again, when the break, I mean, if you're an Argentina fan, you must be scared to death at this point in time. You've got lots of the ball, but every time that you're attacked, you look as if you're in danger. And it's not just because it's the weakness of the defence, Argentina. The good forwards there. Sigurdsson's usually in the middle of anything that's created there. He's been absolutely super in this game, and he looks as if he wants to play a little bit further forward, playing 4-4-1-1 just now, but it's all about getting him on the ball so that he can create.
Iceland coming forward. Magnusson's ball goes up into the air as more or less the whole of the playing surface now is in the shadows of this main stand, as Gylfi Sigurdsson teeters along the byline and wins a corner.
He's fabulous on the ball, isn't he? His feet are so quick, and he is quite a tall player. He's such an elegant player as well, but he runs with the ball. He's always got his head up. He's always looking for a pass that's on there. Gets himself in a great position there, and a corner kick, which is exactly the sort of thing that Iceland have been trying to work for the entirety of this game. They will hopefully get something. Well, they'll be hoping to get something out of one of these, either free kicks, long throws, or in this case corner kick. The corner section is exactly where the majority of the Iceland supporters have filled that block of blue, as Sigurdsson now curls in the corner kick. Caballero, not exactly convincing, but he did get enough on it with a punch away. Alfredsson turns, plays it back in towards the penalty area. We're appealing for handball there with the Iceland players, as it's cleared away by Argentina. Bjarnason, the long-haired midfielder, unable to keep the ball in play as it goes out for an Argentina throw on the right-hand side. But once again, Caballero did not look absolutely fantastic. We're having a little look here. The ball's been headed down onto, trying to see whose hand it was. It was Salvio, wasn't it? And again, once again, I don't think that was deliberate.
Interesting, on that occasion, there was no VAR check by the officials. 1-1, 5 live here at the World Cup. Keeping up to date with the second one-day international in Cardiff, and we've got the commentary from Bloemfontein coming up. South Africa against England, and if that's as thrilling as the first test from last week, that will also be a decent listen as well. And the US Open later on 5 Live Sports Extra. Aguero lays it off. Messi 30 yards from goal. Messi comes forward. Di Maria now inside the penalty area, back towards Messi. Good challenge was made by Gylfi Sigurdsson. Well timed. Mascherano 30 yards out from goal, patiently plays the ball out towards Salvio, right corner of the penalty area. Salvio challenged there on Aguero. Again, the referee was well positioned, the Polish referee Marciniak. And Iceland protecting and looking for a valuable point on their debut in the World Cup. 7 minutes into the second half. BBC Radio 5 Live here in the Spartak Stadium.
But it's a wall, isn't it? It's an absolute wall of white shirts there when Messi gets the ball, and again he's going towards the D there. Every single white shirt is between him and the goal.
Here is Messi just wanting the ball, actually goes behind Messi to Mascherano. Mascherano now Tagliafico to Di Maria. Di Maria, left corner of the penalty area, tries to play it in low. Strikes Saibarson, the right back, up against Di Maria. Di Maria has some support from Biglia. Biglia goes in field. They're going to be making a change. Banega, the Sevilla playmaker, is going to be coming on as Sampaoli makes a change, looking to try and get Argentina ahead, still being held by this Iceland side, and it's going to be Biglia who's going to be coming off. So this is going to be an attacking change in the sense that they're going to do away with one of the two holding midfielders to bring on Banega, who is a talented playmaker.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where he goes. I don't think there's been enough of... I mean, you're right enough. The midfields get missed out when Iceland have the ball, generally, unless it goes in, as I say, to Gylfi Sigurdsson, but that's only one player. So you've got two set midfield players sitting marking that area. You're almost ceding a player there. Unnecessary to do that. We shall see what happens to the team now. The system changes a little bit. Banega's gone a little bit deep there. We shall see if he stays there, because for me, I mentioned at half-time, I don't think they're getting enough from the right-hand side of that Argentinian side. They need to be able to go and attack from both sides.
Still 1-1. Diego Maradona, who's been quite critical of Sampaoli, just seen a shot of him wiping his nose several times in the one of the executive boxes. Didn't seem to be too happy, did Diego Maradona. Plenty of pictures of his face which have been imprinted onto several flags of the Argentinian supporters here, dotted around the stadium. There's one of him and Messi handing over a World Cup as a long throw comes in from Iceland. Cleared away by Mascherano. Bjarnason heads it back. Otamendi this time will head the ball away. There's been a wicket at the cricket in Cardiff. Jonathan Overend.
England 289 for 5. We're in the 43rd over. Sam Billings the man out, clean bowled by Andrew Tye for 11. He never really got going. At the other end though, Josh Buttler is tonking it all around the gardens here. Great fun. Successive sixes over the wicketkeeper's head. He's 63. Moeen coming in, yet to score. 289 for 5 England in the 43rd.
The voices that are reverberating around the stadium are Argentinian supporters who are singing, trying to urge their side on, because 10 minutes into the second half here on 5 Live, it remains 1-1. It's tight. Messi, short diagonal ball to Aguero, gets it back. Messi now to Banega. Here is Mascherano, the sole defensive midfielder now, as he plays it out towards Salvio, far side the right. Meza is also there, not required. Back to Otamendi. Mascherano standing to the side of him on the left-hand side. Banega, who's alongside Messi. And here is Banega just dropping into a little bit of space. Feeds it out towards Tagliafico. Back towards Di Maria. Iceland now still sticking to their task manfully. Mascherano. Everybody is back behind the ball, and Argentina are 30 yards from goal as Messi tries to weave his way through the wall of white shirts. He almost succeeds. Aguero gets the shot away behind for a corner kick.
Just for a moment there, you were thinking Maradona at his best there. He's going past 1, 2, 3 players, but again he finally runs into a player that puts the block on there. But when Messi starts there, he is almost impossible to stop. He's such quick feet.
It's a corner kick to Argentina, right-hand side, it's an outswing, a good header away by Arneson, towering, commanding aerial presence. Banega threads it through, Aguero with a layoff, comes back towards Aguero, Aguero with a shot, blocked by Magnussen, good block as well.
It's made a difference to change. Banega's come on, it's much quicker passing, they're zipping it around, and that is always harder to defend against. So I think it's interesting to see what they were going to change in terms of the actual system. Maybe not a great deal, but one thing definitely, the speed of the passing has totally changed.
That's what Sampaoli likes. Quick, short passing, high pressing game when they try and win it back, and that's what's happening at the minute, because Iceland can't get out of their own half. Banega, the substitute. John Southall, our producer, said to me that Buenos Aires is something like 8,300 miles away from Russia. It feels like we are in Argentina, such is the noise and the amount of support that they have here. The only thing that's missing is the ticker-tape reception. That's what I remember from my first World Cup back in 1978, and here we are in 2018, and the Argentinians are here in force, but they are being met by the resistance of Iceland as we approach the hour mark. 1-1.
That's exactly what I remember from that World Cup. Everything else I'm supposed to remember, I've completely and utterly forgotten. Being a Scotsman.
Ball goes long by the Iceland goalkeeper, Haldorsen. Aimed towards that far side, the left. They get a throw.
But just a moment ago there, all that pressure we were talking about, that quick passing that was happening, they were really on the rack there, Iceland. But they got a little bit handball in their favour. And it was one of those moments, you just look around your teammates and think, thank goodness we got that, because we can get everyone up the park a little bit, we can get a little bit of respite for the defenders, and just stops that momentum that was getting built up there by Argentina.
Alfredsson plays it forward, nice little flick. Magnussen tried to play it in early from Sigurdsson's clever ball, blocked, and it goes behind for a corner kick.
We're in long throw country again here. You look at the centre backs, they're ambling their way up there. They're every right to amble, by the way, because they sprint back when they don't win it.
They don't wilt. They're certainly showing no signs of wilting here in the heat. In comes the long throw.
Terrible.
Didn't really get enough on it. Seemed to slip out of his hands there from Gunnarsson. In fact, he actually wipes it, probably with the sweat on the back of his white shirt. The thunderclap is underway from the Iceland supporters. And the booming chant as well, as Messi rides one challenge. Messi, Banega has a sight of goal. Super block from Ragnar Sigurdsson. Threw himself as he slid across the grass to get that challenge in. Out of play it goes for a throw. Argentina take it quickly. They're looking to try and maintain the tempo, keep that intensity. 1-1. What a story this would be. Not quite on the par of when Argentina, as defending champions, lost to Cameroon, but it would still be one of those stories that talk about for a long time as the cross comes in. There's still a long way to go though, as Magnussen will clear.
Do you know what, we're nearly at the 60th minute now, and you're already thinking, can they last? And it really feels like that. Just with every minute it passes, they just get a little bit more desperately defending. The Iceland players are having to dive in there, and the volume's been turned up and the pace has been turned up by Argentina.
Argentina on the attack. Meza to Messi, rolls it in field. Banega just outside the D. Finnbogason was back there helping out Banega, who's tricky, drifting out towards the left-hand side. Finnbogason again coming back to help out. What a shift he's put in. Alfredsson and Arnason will try and clear it away. Sampaoli, you can sense, knows that there's some tired legs. Goodmanson's gone down. I think he's suffering with cramp. Yeah, and Sampaoli's just trying to tell those Argentinian players, keep on going. Let's try and force some errors.
Yeah, they're going to get them. Again, Tim was talking at half-time, Tim Vicky was talking at half-time there, saying, you know, they will try and keep on passing, keep on trying. It's hard. It doesn't matter how fit you are. It is hard to keep that concentration up for the 90 minutes. And they keep on saying it is warm out there as well. And it's the pace of the passing. Anyone can defend when you're not having to chase and turn and move all the time. But that's exactly what they're doing just now. Just trying to pull them wider. And that's why I complain about, you know, the Argentinian right wing. There's nothing coming from there. If you're attacking from the right, then the left, then central, then the right, then it just exhausts the defence. And maybe that reason, more than any other reason, is why the Icelandic team are managing to hold out so far.
Well, whilst Pat was talking, I hope that coming across was the noise from being generated by the Argentinian support. Goodmanson, is he fit to continue? He's back on his feet. Maybe not. I think there's going to be a change. The Burnley player is unable to continue, and I think, although he's yet to put on his shirt with his hair tied up, that might well be Rurik Gislason who's going to be coming on. Wait to see if that is indeed the number 19 shirt that he's about to put on underneath his white vest. Not that you need a white vest on such a hot day here in Moscow, as they're temporarily down to 10 men. Iceland, though, will break with Gylfi Sigurdsson. Forward ball just too far ahead of Finnbogason, and it is indeed Gislason who's going to be coming on, the 30-year-old midfielder.
You know, it's taking a long time to get him on as well. You do, man, it's tiring enough playing out there just now if you're having to defend up the vast majority of the time, but you're doing it with 10 men just now.
Argentina come forward, still 1-1 on 5 Live. The Rugby Union Live in Bloemfontein on its way here on 5 Live after this World Cup match. Messi clips the ball in towards the penalty area. That could be a penalty. Indeed it is. It was a clumsy challenge. Messer was the player who'd made the run, and it was Magnussen who clipped him.
And just that problem you've got, you're down to 10 men, there will be little gaps there. It is clumsy, you're absolutely, that is the perfect description of it. But he's ran across him, he's no right whatsoever to do that. Again, it's a soft penalty, but it's definitely in my mind a penalty. He's got it right, the referee. I don't think they'll have to deal with the VAR there.
And guess who has picked up the ball to take it from the penalty spot? Lionel Messi. 4 goals he scored in 7 appearances in the last World Cup. He's got an opportunity here to put Argentina ahead. It's Messi against Hal Dawson. The referee blows his whistle. Messi now to take the penalty, left-footed. Hal Dawson makes the save. Hal Dawson is Iceland's hero. Messi is thwarted, and this remarkable story for Iceland's debut continues. It's 1-1. They will not wilt. They will not bow. And Messi doesn't score.
I tell you what, there's penalty saves and there's penalty saves. That's an absolute cracker there. He's flown to his right hand side there. People will say it's at a good height to him, but Messi's got plenty of power on that as well there. And he's got over, not only saved it, but got lots of distance as well.
Aguero has a shot charged down, goes behind for a corner. This incredible story that Iceland, they captured the hearts of so many. They broke the hearts of the English. They're actually now checking for a potential handball. Check over from the VAR. Corner taken quickly. Shot comes in from Messi in 2016, and here they are on the World Cup stage. Incredible, because you'd have put your house on Messi scoring there.
Well, and you would have been looking back at the fact that they didn't make the change quickly enough. They had an opportunity to get to 11 against 11. They didn't make the change quickly enough. They were down to 10. There was a gap that suddenly appeared there, and it ended up getting a penalty. But what a save. I think he may well dine out for quite some time in that. It's an absolutely phenomenal save, and it could be the most important moment in this game.
Messi, lovely little flick. Messi doesn't get away from Arneson. That was a firm challenge. He's actually a film director, you know. Is the goalkeeper making his 50th appearance. He was responsible for Iceland's 2012 Eurovision Song Contest video. Don't worry, if they can make a video and a film about Leicester City winning the Premier League title, in Iceland they'll be producing a film about their heroics in major tournament football very, very soon. And he will have a starring role after that penalty save. 65 minutes played, 5 live. Here in Moscow, 1-1. Messi runs into Bjarnason, free kick, direct free kick.
Yeah, Bjarnason does that a lot. You know, he throws his body in away, and he's very strong. He's so strongly built as well. People tend to run off into him and bounce off him. We're actually seeing another angle of it here then. He just stays strong, you know, and Messi's made the most of it there. He's definitely not diving. It's another free kick, and Bjarnason has to be a little bit more clever than that. You know, he has to be a wee bit more subtle.
Chance of Messi. They're saluting their idol, who's looking for a little bit of redemption after his penalty miss. He takes the free kick. It is direct. It's just under 30 yards out from goal. It's tipping. It's over the top. Back to Jonathan Overend. A wicket at the cricket. England against Australia in Cardiff.
Moeen Ali out for 8, caught in the deep by Ashton Agar off the bowling of Jai Richardson. So England 305 for 6. Just have to be a little careful here in the 46th over that this excellent innings so far doesn't fall apart. Butler not out on 67. David Willey's in to join him. 301 for 6 in the 46th.
The other thing you'd say, thank you Jonathan, the other thing you'd say about Argentina and their pedigree is that they've won 12 of their last 15 group games, and the only defeat in that time was actually against England in 2002. Iceland are on the attack. Gylfi Sigurdsson fires over the cross from the left-hand side behind for a corner. And the thing is as well, whilst it's 1-1, the sporadic attacks that Iceland are having, you still wouldn't rule them out causing an upset.
Yeah, it's, a lot of teams. Remember last season there was a number of teams in the Premier League were playing incredibly defensively and getting everyone behind the ball. The difference was they weren't committing players to attack when they had those breaks. That's not the case. It's not that type of game. It's not that type of team that Iceland are putting out there. We'll go back to the penalty in a moment. That will be discussed long and hard. In simple terms, he didn't hit the side netting. Wouldn't have hit the side netting.
Sigurdsson with the corner kick. It's high, it's curling towards the far post, over the head of Gunnarsson, and all the way out of play for a goal kick. 1-1, 5 Live.
Let me explain that a little bit more. So it's a penalty kick. These days, if the goalkeeper goes the right way, you better hit between the post and the side of the side netting if you're going to score. If it's inside that, 95% of the time the keeper's going to save it. When we've seen that penalty kick from the back, it was just slightly too close. It wasn't near enough to the corner, so it should be no surprise to Messi that penalty was saved in the end. Even though we'll take nothing away from it, it was at pace and he flew across and got it.
That's the voice of Pat Nevin here on 5 Live as Salvio plays a diagonal forward ball. Running onto it was Mascherano. Salvio gets it back from Aguero. We're midway through the second half and it's still 1-1. And Messi has missed a penalty. Here is Aguero. Banega the substitute to Mascherano. Mascherano, Otamendi, every outfield player in the Iceland half. The white shirts of Iceland behind the ball. Conceding territory, conceding possession, but Argentina at the moment cannot find a way through. It's like they need one of the drills of the dentist's practice of Jaime Hallgrimsson to try and penetrate this Icelandic defence.
But it's so hard for them just now. Give them a due, they're still going at that pace, they're still zipping about Argentina. They've not given up in any way, and they're not looking to throw themselves about and dive about. They're just trying to play good football at pace.
Salvio does a couple of step-overs into the penalty area. Clearance this time from Sævarsson, the right back. Tall, lean, short-cropped hair. Headed the ball away, tucked in at right back.
Keep on looking for signs that there's tiredness in that Icelandic team. You're right. It takes them a lot longer than most at the pace they play at, and at that exhaustion of a team that's just defending most of the time and trying to close the ball down. There's no real signs of it yet.
Messi comes forward. Aguero helps it out. Meza, right corner of the penalty area, faced by two white shirts. Little back drag there to Salvio. Gets the shot away, blocked by Gylfi Sigurdsson. And then held up once again by Finnbogason, who scored the equaliser 4 minutes after Argentina took the lead. Headed forward by Rojo. Picked up now by Di Maria, left-hand side. Space to run into. Di Maria, left-hand side of the penalty area, low ball, cleared away by Gunnarsson. Gislason now challenged by Mascherano and wins that, does Gislason. Drops to his knees and that'll buy some time. Just, 20 minutes remaining. 1-1.
I spoke slightly too soon there. I've just watched two players in the Iceland back line pulling up their toes towards their knee, certainly feeling the strain a little bit. And it's no surprise, Ragnar Sigurdsson in particular, he's a brilliant game today. He's one of them, and Magnusson, the left full-back from Bristol City, he's another one as well. But I don't think they'll be going to give up anytime soon. And just as I say that, Magnusson decides to go to left wing.
Ball played downfield by Halldórsson. There is activity on the bench of Iceland as Mascherano in front of the back four to Rojo, comes under pressure from Gylfi Sigurdsson. Gylfi Sigurdsson, who, as we'd said earlier, hold on, here's Messi picking up this ball. Messi driving at the Iceland defence. Messi held up by Gunnarsson. Still though, the ball is at his feet, being tracked now by Arnason. Tries to get away from them. Picks out Di Maria. Tagliafico joins the attack. Left now to Banega. Banega with a shot, moved in the air. Good save though by the goalkeeper. Halldórsson, 1-1.
I think that's really, really poor play. Really disappointing there, and I think they'll be furious with themselves as well. As Arnason, I think he's hardly put a foot wrong in the game so far there. But that header there, straight back into where the danger was, i.e. Lionel Messi's feet there. He had plenty of time to control it.
Pat, you said you'd be surprised if Finnbogason lasted the full 90 minutes. Sigurdsson, who season ended on the 10th of March for Everton, did come back with his knee after his knee injury against Norway and Ghana in the two warm-up games that they actually didn't win, but he didn't complete the 90 minutes, so he might well start to struggle as well in the latter stages of this game. And I say the latter stages because there are 19 minutes remaining. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live here at the World Cup, and it's 1-1. And the Rugby Union's on its way live from Bloemfontein as another direct free kick is conceded by Bjarnason.
How many has that been now from Bjarnason? He's got to fit 6 or 7 free kicks so far in this game, and just by the totting up you'd think he'd probably get a yellow card, but he's just a strong player. He doesn't back off. When you run towards him, he just leaves his body there and players run into him, and because he's built the way he is, they tend to crumple in a heap in front of them. I don't think they're pretending they're more injured than they are. But he's given away just slightly too many free kicks and too many dangerous possessions.
Messi is the player who's going to take it, but it's a long way out. It's just under 30 yards out from goal.
Well, the last one was poor, wasn't it, from a very, very similar position there. Well, I suppose you could say he's had a sighter.
It's right of centre, but it would suit the left foot of Lionel Messi. Iceland have everybody back. Messi with a short run-up. Looking at the ball now, strikes it left-footed into the four-man wall. Comes straight back towards Messi. Over on that far side is Meza, and Iceland quickly come across to concede the throw as the Argentina pressure continues on this Icelandic defence, but it's still 1-1.
I think they're double checking there to make sure that Bjarnason Zoki got that smashed in the face. Look, you could run and punch him in the face, he wouldn't be affected. He's built so strongly. I think there's a change going to be made quite soon, but can they survive another flow of attacks here from Argentina?
Argentina are going to be making the change. Wait to see who'll be coming on as Messi this time on the right-hand side, comes in off the right touchline. Still one apiece. Banega now plays it back towards Messi on the edge of the area, still wants it on that left foot, still wants a side of goal, looks to link up there with Aguero, but Aron Gunnarsson breaks up that play. Argentina win it back, high. Mascherano, 30 yards from goal. Iceland trying to limit the space for Argentina, very, very congested. Mascherano to Banega. Banega gets away from one challenge, goes past two, threads it through, cleared away by Arneson. Some tired legs, puffing up the cheeks. Chance to try and take in, to give their lungs a little bit more in their energy reserves to keep them going for the next 16 minutes for what would be a momentous result in their history. 1-1, Mascherano to Messi. Alfredson made the challenge. Sigurdsson gets away from Messi, glides away from Mascherano. Sigurdsson's done well. Out towards Magnusson. Blonde-haired left back. Over the halfway line, plays it forward. Otamendi. In fact, there's going to be a change from both. We're going to see Pavon coming on for Argentina. And
they've got to make good use of the changes now. This is very, very big for Iceland as well as Argentina.
Messi's forward ball cut out by Sævarsson, the right back. Oh, side down, Tagliafico on Gustafsson, and Pavon's going to be the first change, and it's Christian Pavon, and it's going to be Di Maria.
It's slightly surprising that, considering he's looked more dangerous on the left-hand side than anything's happening on the right-hand side for the entirety of this game. Slightly surprised at that. I don't think Iceland would be too disappointed with that.
Might be a tactical change, we'll have to see, because he plays on the right wing for Boca Juniors, I think. Aris Gunnarsson is going to be coming on. It's a defender, plays his football in Belgium for Lokeren. And the 31-year-old is actually replacing Gunnarsson, so I'd imagine that he's just going to sit there in front of that back four. Is Gunnarsson, as Gunnarsson, the captain, comes off.
Well, you see that, and he's went and stood in the right wing, hasn't he? Much to my surprise and yours too.
Yes, he has, actually.
I think maybe they're thinking that there's some dangers coming down that left-hand side, so he started right wing, but he will go deeper.
Pavon is actually on the left-hand side. He's quick and he's powerful, and he's often running in support with Aguero, but Aguero can't release the ball to him. Crowded out by the white shirts. 14 minutes remain. Argentina 1, Iceland 1 on a World Cup weekend where tomorrow will bring you Germany against Mexico and the boys from Brazil against Switzerland. But Argentina might be having a little stumble here against Iceland.
Right now, Iceland went back to a 4-5-1, but it's a 4-5, then a massive gap, then one huge gap up to the striker, and they have to say Fumbagas, and he scored the goal, but he's had a great game today as well.
Messi, Pavon, left-hand side. Pavon cuts away towards the byline. That was a penalty. No. Oh, I thought Sævarsson had made the challenge. To the naked eye, I thought that was a penalty.
I think you could be right there. He's had a go there. The referee said he dived there. Now that's a classic case. Let's have a look at there. That's a penalty. He's caught his foot. Absolutely caught his foot. I think if he asked for the VAR there, I mean, he has caught his foot. It's not a side. He's caught his foot, and that's the reason. Maybe the referee's saying he has actually kicked the defender's feet. Maybe he's saying that, but he certainly had the run in the defender there. So I think Iceland's got away with one there.
Normally as well on the monitor we get an indication when they're actually checking for VAR. I'm surprised that they didn't there.
I'm shocked that they didn't. I'm absolutely shocked. I think it's one of those ones where it was not an absolute stick on. They would have had to drag the referee over to the side. Maybe he's made a signal to say, no, I've seen enough, I'll make the decision.
Alfredson plays it forward. Challenge from Otamendi on Fimbergarson. No foul. Messi now running at the heart of the Iceland defence. Messi tries to hold off Bjarnason. Plays it towards Pavon. Pavon left hand side. 12 minutes remaining.
See those penalties, those penalty chances.
Mascherano to Messi. Oh, that was delightful the way he brought it down. And just to try to get away off his left foot, Syverson dived in, concedes the corner.
But it's a brilliant tackle. It's an absolutely phenomenal tackle. Messi takes it down perfectly. He has to get that one right. But there's a number of things. Yes, they're having to be desperate. It's last-ditch tackles. Most of the time they're okay, but tiredness will make them lazy.
In comes the corner kick. Referee having to wait to see which way it goes. He actually awards that throw in favour of Argentina on this near side, the left. The Russians are being won over there by the thunderclap. There were some Russian supporters joining in with the Icelandic supporters there with the thunderclap, I noticed, on the away to our left. There's Argentina, who are dominating with possession, looking for a way through. Meza can't get there. Free kick actually goes in favour of Iceland as Meza tried to make a run through the middle.
Absolutely brilliant work there. Once again, defensively they've been absolutely superb. Constantly Argentina are trying to go through that D again. Time and again you think they've just about got there, but it's different players time and again that'll go. Halfredson's the one that gets back there on that occasion, but before that some of the time it's Bjarnason, some of the time it's Sigurdsson, even now and again it's Fimbergarson. They're all going back there, they're all helping, they're all understanding where the danger is. But as I say, it's so tough for them because you get more and more tired as the game goes on, and those last ditch tackles always are dangerous, especially in the box.
If you've just joined us, Argentina took the lead after 19 minutes with Aguero's first goal at a World Cup final. Fimbergarson equalised for Iceland 4 minutes later, and then Messi had a penalty save from Halldórsson, and Iceland now come forward with 10 minutes remaining. Gislason goes into a 50-50 challenge over on that far side with Salvio, and it runs out of play for an Iceland throw, and this might be an opportunity to hurl one in long, although Gunnarsson's actually left the field of play, hasn't he? However, Arnason and Ragnar Sigurdsson are coming up, the two central defenders from the back.
Yeah, there's more than one long throw in this team. B players as well can do it, but right beside his own fans there, so they'll give them all the help they can.
Magnusson's long throw, headed away by Mascherano just inside the penalty area. That was Pavon. The energy levels are very, very high from these Iceland players. See it back towards Halldórsson, the goalkeeper. Gislason, who's now playing on the left-hand side. Magnusson loses out to Messi. Messi then gets away from another challenge. Stopped then by Ragnar Sigurdsson. They're just throwing themselves into the challenge, the Iceland players. Here is Messi. Messi shoots. Oh, Messi just wide off his left foot. Halldórsson flying away to his right. That looked close. 1-1. 9 minutes remain.
Absolute desperation, and every single tackle in that back line there, they've got just about every single one of them right so far. That shot by Messi is just inches wide. Can you give the goalkeeper a little bit of credit there? Do you think Halldórsson would have got to it? It would have been a tight one there. It would have had to take the inside of the post. Actually, we've seen another angle. Nah, he wouldn't have got to it.
The 34-year-old was at full stretch, and we have 8 and a bit minutes remaining. 1-1. Gislason comes forward, stops. Skilpi Sigurdsson tries to pick up the loose ball. They are so committed. Gislason dives into the challenge, forces the ball out of play on that far side.
And we've got to say that they look the fitter team. They have to play in this way, they have to be the fitter team. But you keep on expecting them to wilt at some point. They've got about 8 minutes plus some injury time to last in this game so far. If they lose a goal now, you suspect they will wilt. They tell you what, they've got more problems coming.
Higuain's coming on. Mind you, he's failed to score in his last 8 appearances. His last goal was October 2016 against Peru. Tagliafico, left back, left corner of the penalty area. Pavon is just outside of him. Pavon waits, doesn't deliver the ball just yet towards the byline. Has some support. Vanega. Is he going to shoot? Edges his way towards the edge of the penalty area. Finds Messi. Messi looking for his magic, twists one way, still onto his left foot, faced by 2 players, links up with Vanega, back towards Messi, can't find a way through, can't thread it through. Iceland once again, like that wall, just hold firm. Referee says no foul, back towards Messi it comes, 30 yards out from goal. Messi strokes it, Tagliafico lays it off inside, Pavon with a shot, blocked by Syverson.
You just get a feeling it's going to be exactly like this all the way to the end. There might be the odd break there, but they're under such immense pressure. It's built and built and built, and this is the most dangerous part of the game, and they are exhausted. The defenders have worked so hard, they've concentrated so hard for Iceland here, but they're under massive pressure.
It's still 1-1. Time's ticking away for Argentina. Messi comes inside, Messi with a shot, charged down, and it runs out for a goal kick as the minutes tick by. 6.5 minutes remaining, and the player who's coming off is Meza, and Higuain will come on to replace him.
You know, we talked before the game about who you would like to be playing in this game if you're an Argentina supporter. And my thoughts were, in this game, you want them all on. You want Higuain on, you would like Aguero on, you would like Messi on, you would like Di Maria on as well, Pavon. They're all on now. Problem is they've only got about 6 minutes or so to actually do it. They've created quite a few chances, got good positions there, but you know the man of the match, if this carries on the way it is, it's going to be one of those Icelandic defenders, and they have all been fabulous.
Will Sampaoli be criticised for his cautious approach by starting with the 2 holding midfielders? As Higuain is quickly involved, saying that he was unfairly challenged by Kari Arnason, the 35-year-old central defender. Free kick to Argentina, which is taken by Mascherano. 5 minutes remain, and it's still locked at 1 apiece. Here is Mascherano, Rojo. They are very, very deep for Iceland. Pavon, left-hand side, Tagliafico is ahead of him, cleared away by Hallfredsson. Foul there on Gylfi Sigurdsson by Mascherano, and he just waits on his knees, does Gylfi Sigurdsson, takes his time. Under 5 minutes remaining.
I'm not sure if he can get up just now. He's so exhausted. Another player who's an absolute smashing game, and the fact that we talked about his footwork's been brilliant. His link-up play's been great. The amount of miles that he's put on in this game have been absolutely fantastic as well. But the willingness to go, and defend the way he does as well. I mean, he's been absolutely outstanding. You couldn't ask more for a midfielder than he's given today.
They might be the smallest nation ever to qualify for a World Cup, but they've got big hearts, this Icelandic team. As they have a throw on that far side, we have 4.5 minutes remaining. 1-1. It will be a real story here in Russia. Messi on the halfway line. Higuain over on the right hand side, looks up, Higuain delivers it low, looking towards Aguero, cut out by Arnason.
Usually in those situations they've been flying back at full speed. They weren't able to do it in that situation in Iceland, so I don't know if they'll come out and break out at all between now and the end of the game.
Mascherano strokes it. Vanega back to Mascherano, 30 yards out from goal. Rojo's going to shoot. Rojo into the penalty area, then the angle's closed down. Pavon with a cross, almost goes all the way through. And that was a terrific reflex save by Halldórsson, because nobody got the touch. It looked like he was going to go past him. He's actually dived a little bit backwards, away to his left, for a one-handed save to palm it away.
I tell you, a lot of goalkeepers will tell you that's better than the penalty kick save, and probably more important as well, because it doesn't read that that's a goal. We can see exactly, we're right on an angle, it will nestle in the back post. If it's going at some pace, he expected a touch, it didn't come, but he absolutely got everything on it. Super save from the goalkeeper.
Halldórsson, the hero for Iceland. as Higuain wrestles the ball away from Halfredson. Here is Messi just outside the D, into the penalty area, can't find Aguero, cleared by Iceland, only as far as Tagliafico. They're camped outside the Iceland half, into the penalty area, Pavon with a cross, over the head of Higuain. It's picked up by Salvio, Banega goes on the overlap, Mascherano with a shot, and Haldorsen makes the save, 2 and a bit minutes remaining.
Do you know what the players that have fell to, if you're an Icelandic player or an Icelandic fan, you'd be saying to yourself, the one you want to take it is Mascherano. He doesn't score many goals, and as I speak just now, talking about the exhaustion, Finn Bogason, he should have been chased a little while ago. He's just gone down there, well, hoping it's cramp, hoping it's no more than that. He's going to have to come off now. They've decided they're going to bring another centre forward on, but he just ran out of gas in the middle of the field there. I am shocked that he lasted until the 89th minute, and by the way, amazed and impressed as well.
Sigurdsson is the player who's going to be coming on. Actually plays his football here in Russia for Rostov. 4 years at Wolverhampton Wanderers, 7 goals in his 75 appearances before he moved to Russia in January. But Finn Bogason, clenched fists, gritted teeth, and just says come on as the two exchange. Substitution being made, Sigurdsson is on.
Do you know, I mentioned just before to you about Gylfi Sigurdsson, the perfect midfield performance. He's done everything, but it's the miles he's put in. He's run further than anybody else in this pitch tonight. Just had a look at the kilometres done, and he's way ahead of everyone else.
Iceland are very, very close to a famous result. Ball played forward for Iceland. Still 1-1, remember. The rugby union from Bloemfontein is on its way. South Africa against England. There will be reaction though, because we've got Peru against Denmark. The first half you can watch on BBC television. And for all of the games on BBC TV, you've got the red button option to listen to the 5 live commentary. As in fact, Jaime Hallgrimsson, the coach, is actually trying to orchestrate the Icelandic support to get the thunderclap going, to see them over the line.
They need everything. They need absolutely everything just now. Just that substitution, give them a little bit of respite. Those 30 seconds or so will go a long, long way, but they'll be worried sick what's going to happen in the next 30 seconds or so. When we see how many minutes have been added, they'll be wanting 2 or 3. It's probably going to be 4 or 5.
And we've still got Croatia, Nigeria to come later on. So in the course of those games, and in between the rugby, and of course the golf, which will be on 5 Live Sports Extra, you'll get reaction here from the Iceland camp if they can hang on. 5 minutes they've added on time, which we're about to go into. It's 1-1. Salvio with a cross into the penalty area. Ragnar Sigurdsson with a header away. Headed further clear then by Magnusson. Otamendi to Rojo. There's the 5 minutes shown to the crowd. Stepping forward, Sigurdsson. Good play, stepping out of defence. Alfredson, tight, in a spot, loses the ball, tries to win it back, goes into a challenge with Mascherano. Free kick in favour of Iceland.
Yeah, this is going to slow the game down. Both players are actually injured there. And he's not going to get his yellow card out or anything, but that really gives him that bit of rest there. They've taken a little bit of a chance there. A couple of players had actually run forward beyond the ball there. They were under a little bit of pressure, but they've got the free kick now, and just in the 90 minutes. Now we'll see how long they get extra. Will they play 6 or 7 now? It never really happens that way, does it? So 5 extra minutes, and just that little moment to calm down. And as you say, the coach is shouting and bawling towards and gesticulating towards those Iceland fans. Help as much as you possibly can. They need everything.
John Southall, the producer, just showed me a stat that Lionel Messi's actually missed 4 of his last 7 penalties he's taken for both club and country. Costly miss for Argentina. Super save from Haldorsen after 64 minutes, and he's since made another fine save as well to keep it at 1-1. Sigurdsson, big burly striker, chases after the ball towards Caballero, plays it out of defence to Rojo, flicks it forward. Banega, who's dropped deep to collect the ball. Otamendi can't take it in his stride. The first minute of the allotted 5 have been used up here in the Spartak Stadium. The Argentinian supporters have taken off their shirts in the sunshine. They're swirling them around their heads. Is there to be a late goal? Uruguay scored late yesterday. Argentina are looking for a late winner. Banega helps it on towards Messi. Messi just outside the penalty area. feeds it to Salvio, right-hand side of the box. Salvio, back to Messi. Messi, does he get a sight of goal? Messi right-footed wide, goal kick, 1-1.
The script was written, it was all there for him. The only problem was, it was on his right foot, not his left foot. He was shown that way intelligently by the Icelandic defence. He's tried to curl at his right foot. It's a distance wide, about a foot and a half, and for Messi, that's almost the equivalent of a mile wide. Didn't trouble the goalkeeper at all. And they don't. You talked about the goalkeeper. He's made the penalty save, yeah, and the other save we mentioned, which was a kind of half cross, half shot. He's not made that many more saves apart from that. Apart from that, it's just been brilliant defending.
Argentina have had 25 shots, only 7 have been on target. We're halfway through, the 5 minutes have added on time. A scoreline of Argentina 1, Iceland 1. Croatia against Nigeria coming up later on. Vicky Sparks and Terry Butcher, your commentary team. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff as Tagliafico, as they tried to switch play out towards Skulason on this near side, sees it back towards Caballero. Sampaoli, I think, has just inquired how long he's left with some of his coaching staff on the bench. Rich is in front of us as Messi picks the ball up from deep, stepping out of defence with Saivarsson. It goes back towards Messi. He's trying to do it single-handedly to Banega, scoops the ball forward back towards Messi, bounces around in the penalty area, hooked away by Magnussen. 90 seconds remain and it's 1-1. Iceland hanging on. Banega with a cross, punched away by the goalkeeper. Comes out to Otamendi. Otamendi clips it back in, gathered by the goalkeeper, and then he drops to the floor.
Yeah, he drops to the floor. He's every right to do that just now. He's run forward there in case he gets a yellow card. You know what, mate? You'd probably be worth taking a yellow card just now, just to slow it down as much as you possibly can. But they've defended brilliantly once again now. Lovely little ball chipped over the top, but they're aware of it. They've got everybody working together. This is such a brilliant team spirit you're seeing here.
It has
and
been
last.
A heroic effort as Messi comes forward. Free kick. Both Alfredson and Bjarnason made the challenge. It's a direct free kick. Pat, we saw Ronaldo late yesterday salvage something for Portugal. Messi's clutched the ball, he's placed it down. They now require his magic.
Do you know what? It's a different angle this time. This is where a slightly more confusing one. One of the things that got a little bit of help here is that it's a massively tall Icelandic wall, so it makes it that little bit more difficult. Problem is Lionel Messi, his first 2 free kicks were not good at all. First one goes over the crossbar, didn't trouble the goalkeeper at all, and the second one straight into the wall, actually straight into the face of, I think it was Bjarnason at the time. This one, different angle, this time on the left-hand side, a different angle which he'll be delighted about. Yes, he is capable of doing it, sure.
Well, this could be the last kick of the game. The 5 minutes of added on time are all but over. It's 1-1 here in the Spartak Stadium. Messi, left-footed, strikes the top of the wall and comes back. And there is the final whistle. And Iceland celebrate because 2 years ago they shocked Europe. And the smallest ever nation to qualify for a World Cup final have now created a real story on their debut. Because they have stunned Argentina. They're doing it on the world stage. Messi unable to work his magic. The hero is Halldórsson. 1-1.
I am absolutely delighted for them. You shouldn't take sides. I'm not taking sides here, but a team that puts that amount of effort, a spirit that they've got there is extraordinary. And possibly my favourite moment of this entire game has just happened right in front of us here. I wanted to see the reaction of those Iceland players if they got this point there. Did they run about as if they'd won the World Cup? Did they celebrate? Did they run towards the fans? No, they turned to each other and said, well done, there's a point in the bag, let's go on from here. That's a team that believes in themselves. Well done, you deserve to be here, you belong here.
What a story. Argentina, who took the lead through Aguero after 19 minutes. Iceland were level within 4. Finnbogason. And then Lionel Messi having a penalty save from Halldórsson after 64 minutes. He made another good save late on. And it's the Icelandic supporters who are celebrating here in the sunshine. Argentina 1, Iceland 1.